Okay, now we move over to the next override instructions, which is jump. Okay, so jump, as you think of the term, it is basically if you're trying to skip, okay, some instructions. So what are the difference between this and MCR? Okay, so the jump instruction is basically for the purpose of skipping, okay, but the output is different from the ones that we see in MCR. So advantages is that obviously you want to reduce the scan time, and basically with the jump you can hold more than one program and scan only the program that is appropriate for the operator requirements, and the sections of the program can be jumped when there are production fault occurs. Okay, so obviously if you want to think of it like a branching process, so if you start to jump over some instructions, that means you can have set more than one program together, and whenever this part of the program is executed, then the other programs will not, you will not be going through the other programs that are not related to your processes. Okay, you can see that the not scanning part is quite similar to MCR. Okay, so you can branch or skip to different portions of a program and freeze all affected outputs in their last state. So this is the difference. So basically you can freeze the output in their last state with jump operation. This is different from the one that you see in MCR, because in MCR you can see that once you turn that off, the output state will go straight away to off for all the out and out not, and then you see that the counter will stop counting, the timer will be reset, and so on. So so the outputs will start to reset, okay, in interlock. Okay, but with jump you can freeze all affected outputs. Now jump instructions must be used together with JME or jump end. Okay, and jump defines the point from which the jump will be made, and JME defines the destination of the jump. So where is the jump going to go? So you can see that in the ladder symbol itself you have JMPN, and you have N here refers to a jump number. So jump number is from 01 through 99. So it can be only used once in JMP and once in JME. So you always have JMP, for example, number 1, then JME number 1. So you will have to jump from that point to the lines where JME is written before. Okay, so the number has to match. Okay, so when the execution condition for jump is off, you can see that program execution jumps directly from the first JME in the program with the same jump number. Okay, so like the IL or the interlock, the execution condition must be off. Okay, so off means like so basically for the program to run as usual without jumping, the execution condition to the symbol jump must always be on. Okay, once you want the instructions to be jumped to the next portion, it will have to be off. All right. Okay, so like I said, what happens is that when we do the jumping, the operand or the instructions that we have in between the jump will maintain its status. Okay, so therefore the use of jump have a shorter execution time in comparison with interlock. Okay, so because you don't turn off anything in between, so basically if we do the jump, we're just going to skip the instructions without touching anything on the output. So the status of the timers, counters, bits used in out not, and all other status bits controlled by the instructions between JMP and JME will not be changed. Okay, so you see that JMP in the bracket 04 and JME in bracket 05, that's not a jump number, that is the instructions number. If you basically look at the Omron manual, then you can see that JMP and JME has this 04 and 05 as the instructions set. So basically it's the name of that instruction, the name of the instructions. Okay, so JMP is JMP 04, so the number must be after that. So JMP 04 is the instructions, then you should have put the number after that. Okay, so we will see how it works in CX Programmer after this, but first we'll see okay, right now we're going to look at how to implement the jump inside the CX Programmer. So you can see from my program here, it's an example of a program that I have a few instructions that I would like to skip if I execute the jump. Okay, so you must remember that jump, if you want the jump to happen, that it must be activated before the main program starts to execute the rungs. Okay, because the jump itself will only be executed when transition is between off to on. Okay, so off to on happens. Alright, so if you want to jump straight away, you must turn on PB5 before you activate the main program. Alright, so let's see. Okay, right now if I turn on PB1, obviously it will activate call CR2, and the contact for the CR2 can be found here, okay, inside of the instructions that you want to jump, as well as here. So if we look at the output, okay, the physical output that we can see is actually this lamp. So lamp 1 will only be activated if we execute instructions. If we jump, we obviously will not it will not be turned on. Okay, so 100 and 02 is lamp number 3 here. So lamp here will be executed immediately after we turn on PB1, obviously, because this is a contact of CR2, so CR2 here. And if we actually jump, if we actually execute the instructions here without jumping, obviously CR1 will be activated, so lamp 3 will immediately turn off if we did not execute the jump. Okay, and the timer also, if we did not execute the jump, the timer will be ticking and obviously will eventually turn on lamp 2 or 100.01 here when the timer has finished counting. Okay, so we'll see the first scenario when I didn't do anything to the jump. So basically if I don't activate the jump right now, so we are looking at the possibility of jumping the whole thing. Okay, so the rungs in between the jump number will not be executed because we don't activate the activation here. We don't activate PB5 here to actually what we call null the jump. Okay, so basically here, if I don't activate the jump, and you can see that because CR2 if we this is what we must remember. So if we have a coil activated, and obviously all the contacts will be activated, and so you will have two contacts CR2 that are programmed here, so here and here. So you see that LAMP3 is activated, but CR1 here is not activated. Okay, so you can see that one of the reason why is that because it's jumping now, so whatever in between will not be executed. So what happens when I activate the activation on jump, and we can see straight away that all of the output is deactivated. All of the output is activated and turned on. So if I turn off this again, then you can see what happened. This is different than interlock, and I already turned this one off. Okay, so obviously with jump, whatever output that you have after the first running of the first run, it will maintain the same state. Okay, and the timer is also not reset, unlike the one that we see in interlock. Okay, so if I turn off CR2 here, so obviously we will not if I turn off CR2, then we will immediately deactivate all the contacts. So if I set that off, then you can see that CR2, all the contacts are off, and LAMP3 is off, but you can see here that CR1 is still on even though you deactivate CR2 set. So with a jump here, we will not reset the whatever the or we will not turn off whatever output state that already been activated before the jump was before the jump was made. Okay, now again, if we look at how this jump actually works, is that we have to make sure that the activation is off if we want to make the jump. If we are in this state right now, the activation to the jump is on, then basically whatever instructions in between will be executed. I know it seems counterintuitive at this point, but then, well, basically this is how it works in Omron. So it's quite different from the one that we see in the interlock. So basically right now, if we want to jump, we have to make sure that the activation is off. If we want to jump, if we don't want to jump, then we have to make sure that the activation is on. So right now, if we don't want to jump anymore, for example, and we kind of like turn this off, okay, turn this off, then we can see that all the states are still the same. So even if I turn off the main or the main program here, sorry, let me do that again. Okay, you can see that the state is still the same, so we cannot reset everything here. So how to reset everything is to make sure that the jump is on again when everything is off. Okay, so right now, if we remember, if we activate the jump again, then that means like we want to execute the instructions in between. Okay, so if we kind of like turn off with the instructions that activate CR1 still on, then we will not reset anything. Okay, here. So it is always a good thing to remember that it will be executed only when transition is between off to on. So when it is on to off, it will not do anything. Okay, all right. I hope I'll make that clear. If you have any other questions, please feel free to ask.